All right, Shalom, Yasharala. Before we get started, we're going to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders of Great Millstone that teach and rule well. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. You sincere brothers out here that's pushing this word. And you sincere sisters that's listening and learning. May the choice of election be upon your house. All right, we're back, another video, another lesson. And the title of this lesson is called Chaos Will Fill the Streets of America. All right. And I got these articles we're going to read. So chaos will fill the streets of America. And that's what we're going to see very, very soon in the streets of America, which is, all right, Babylon the Great. All right. And we know the times we're coming in. You know, it's clear we can see what we can see already right now. We're in the days, you know, of evil. The days of the trouble are at hand. You see, and you know it's getting very, very close. And you know these people out here, they don't know this. Right? They don't know what's coming to them. They have no clue what's about to happen. All right, we see the things going on in the world. These other nations, they're dropping the dollar. The dollar's devaluing. All right, it's chaos, you know, everywhere. You know, we see the signs in the heavens, all right, and on the earth. We see everything that's going on through the spirit of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, man. All right, and these are the things that's going on. But, you know, I don't want to ramble too much, but let's get these articles. Well, I'm starting to play this video first. I was watching this on the way home. It says breaking. This is from Steve Ram. All right, he does good videos. I always, you know, up and dating, right? But Steve Ram, I subscribe to him. It says breaking: 3 attacks on U.S. cities just confirmed, and this was 2 hours ago. And I got an article we're gonna look at. All right, I'm gonna play this from the beginning. I'm gonna play this from right. Play this from right here. All right. So I'm gonna mute myself, and we're gonna listen in.
We've seen the threat from foreign terrorists rise to a whole nother level. This is by no means a time to let up or dial back. Now, on top of that, increasingly concerning is...
And it might sound a little low on your end, so, but I'm gonna play it I'm gonna just play it from the beginning. All right. So this is today at June 12th. All right. And so 3 attacks on U.S. cities just confirmed. All right, so I'm gonna play it again. And like I said, it may, you know, sound low on your end, but I don't have my headphones. You know, I lost them. I don't know what I did with them, so we gonna have to bear with it right now. So, you know, just you know, bear with me. But I'm gonna just get into it.
Breaking news coming out today that major attacks against 3 U.S. cities, Los Angeles, New York, and Philadelphia, have been stopped as 8 individuals that crossed from the southern border into the U.S. that were planning these coordinated bombing attacks, they have been arrested.
Officials tell CBS News the individuals were from Tajikistan and were arrested in New York, Philadelphia, and Los Angeles. They allegedly crossed the U.S.-Mexico border last year and this year.
Now, I'm going to share with you the video footage and the articles so that way you can see it for yourself. And in addition to that, stick around because I've shared with you the list of cities on the watch list coming from the FBI where they know there are sleeper cell groups there that are planning coordinated attacks. They're keeping an eye on them, and hopefully we're going to be seeing more arrests taking place so that way we can thwart any potential attacks that we've heard will be coming. And these warnings coming out from the FBI for the last several months, and the most recent one you're going to see just 8 days ago. So let's go ahead and dive right in and share with you the latest. But before we do, if you appreciate the updates keeping you up to speed, don't forget, take a quick second, hit the like button for me. Helps spread this information out, even though it's not what we want to hear. It's good for us to stay informed and share this information. Also, to stay up to date, it's totally free. Why not hit the subscribe button, turn on that notification bell, and also additional resources linked in the description below so that way you can stay connected and ready. But with that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at the latest information so you can see it for yourself.
We've seen the threat from foreign terrorists rise to a whole nother level. This is by no means a time to let up or dial back. Now, On top of that, increasingly concerning is the potential for a coordinated attack here in the homeland.
So that was 8 days ago, and that was Chris Wray, head of the FBI, warning us that now it's happened. 8 migrants with ties to ISIS arrested in a sting operation. All 8 of them crossed the border illegally. That's where we start. Good morning, everybody. On this midweek Wednesday, I'm Bill Hemmer. Hello to you.
Good morning. It's good to be here with you. I'm Dana Perino, and this is America's Newsroom. The migrants came here from Tajikistan, and a source tells Fox they were, quote, fully vetted at the southern border, and yet nothing was flagged.
So ICE then later caught up with them in Philadelphia, New York, and Los Angeles, and that begs the question, who else is coming across that border?
We have Team Fox coverage. Paul Morrow is here with us, and we want to go first to Alexis McAdams. She is on the streets of New York with more. Hi, Alexis.
Dana, Bill, good morning. Right now, we know that those 8 Tajik nationals are in ICE custody this morning after they were arrested. A source telling me that a majority were arrested right here in New York City. Exactly where in the city, we're still trying to figure that out. This morning, a Democratic councilman here says this is another example of a broken southern border that he says the president needs to fix quickly because he says he doesn't know what's going to happen next in New York City. Listen.
Yeah, it's frightening, and we're headed for another 9/11. I predicted that.
Southern border that he says the president needs to fix quickly because he says he doesn't know what's going to happen next in New York City. Listen.
Yeah, it's frightening, and we're headed for another 9/11. I predicted that.
Now, no, y'all heard him. He said we're headed for another 911. All right. He said we're headed for another 911. You can, I may play some more of this, but you heard the point. All right, three attacks on U.S. cities, which was New York, Philadelphia, and Los Angeles by 8. They say migrants. All right, that came from what do you say? To how you pronounce that? To Tajikistan, right? And I got an article pulled up. Now this article, this what it says. It says. This from End Time Headlines. It says 6 Russian nationals with ISIS ties arrested in NYC, Philly, and LA. You see how they put, Russia on that, but who knows? It says 6 Russian nationals with potential ties to ISIS have been arrested in New York, Philadelphia, and Los Angeles in the coordinated sting by law enforcement. 2 ICE officials have told the New York Post they arrested the suspected terrorist affiliates last week after the FBI raised the alarm. The suspects are originally from Tajikistan, right? It says, and they also have Russian citizenship, according to the Post. Anonymous ICE officials told the newspaper a wiretap revealed one of the suspects talking about bombs, and they said this in the video, but like I said, the video may sound low, so I'm just read the article. It says, remember the Boston Marathon bombing? I'm afraid something like that might happen again or worse, one official told the Post. According to the source, the suspect has been involved with law enforcement before and has a court date next year. It comes as top law enforcement officials warned the threat of a terrorist attack in the U.S. and has risen enormously over the past few months. It says Attorney General Merrick Garland made the astonishing admission while testifying before the House Judiciary Committee on Tuesday last week during a hearing dedicated to investigating the department's politicization. It says, I am worried about the possibility of a terrorist attack in the country after October 7. That's when Hamas attacked Israel. It says, Attorney General Garland said, the threat level for us has gone up enormously. Every morning we worry about this question. Why try to track anyone who might be trying to hurt the country? He continued. Of course, this is a major priority for the Justice Department. It says FBI Director Christopher Wray, speaking to a different committee on the other side of Capitol Hill in the Senate, agreed, saying, we have seen the threat from foreign terrorists rise to a whole other level at the October 7 Hamas terrorist attack. you know. And they let these migrants come across the border. They said it, they said they were they were vetted, you know. And a lot of we don't know who these people are coming across. We got the Northern Kingdom coming. These people from Venezuela, all right, Mexico, of course, right, different parts of the islands, So Northern Kingdom is coming across, but they're dangerous too. Some are coming over to be saved, as we believe. All right, they're gonna hear the word, they're gonna be sealed, and some are gonna come over to be destroyed in America. You see that? And not just them, but like we said, these other nations are coming across that border too. All right, terrorists, gangs, not no low level type gang. These are top gangs. All right, and there's another one right here. All right, I may play the video, so I had to read it.
Clem's not a morning person or a people person, but he is an I can solve this in 4 different ways person. You need Clem. Clem needs benefits. Work with principals so we can help you with a plan that's right for him. Let our expertise round out yours.
We are learning about a high-profile sting operation here in the U.S. 8 men with suspected ties to ISIS arrested by federal agents in 3 major cities. NBC's chief White House correspondent Peter Al. We are learning about a high-profile sting operation here in the U.S. 8 men with suspected ties to ISIS arrested by federal agents in 3 major cities. NBC's chief White House correspondent Peter Alexander has details. Peter, what do you know this morning?
Hoda, good morning. Those 8 suspects that you note are all men from Tajikistan who were all arrested by ICE over the weekend in Philadelphia, L.A., and New York for potential ties to ISIS in Central Asia. 3 people familiar with the matter tell NBC News that the men crossed through the southern border, some as recently as last year. And at the time, authorities found no evidence of terror ties. Their criminal background checks at the time all came back clean. But the FBI has since been investigating a potential threat coming out of Central Europe that included monitoring these men for several months. A series of terror suspects in ISIS-linked attacks, notably, have originated in Tajikistan. That, by the way, it borders Afghanistan and China, including the gunman in the Moscow concert hall attack that happened back in March, where ISIS claimed responsibility, Hoda.
And Peter, all of this under the backdrop of border security, which, of course, is one of the top issues that's dominating the presidential race.
Yeah, the economy, border security, and immigration, of course. Republicans blame President Biden for a record number of migrants illegally crossing into the U.S. on his watch, arguing that he's weak on immigration and border security. But remember, Republicans also recently tanked a bipartisan border security deal at the urging of former President Trump. And this was a deal that even the Border Patrol Union had endorsed. Just last week, the president announced an executive action, as we reported, restricting asylum requests once illegal border crossings reach about 2,500 migrants a day. And to be clear here, Hoda, we remain in what really is a high threat environment. The FBI director himself recently warning Congress that some dangerous individuals have illegally crossed into the U.S. and that he remains concerned about a particular network with ISIS ties. Hoda.
All right, Peter Alexander for us there at the White House.
All right, so, that's that. You see, and I put it's not really a long article, but, I'll read it. It says 8 men, all right, this is from June 11th, all right, headline, 8 suspected terrorists with possible ISIS ties arrested in New York, L.A., and Philadelphia, all right. It says 8 men from Tajikistan with potential ties to ISIS out of Central Asia were arrested over the weekend in New York, Philadelphia, and Los Angeles. 3 people familiar with the matter told NBC News on Tuesday. The suspects had been on FBI's Joint Terrorism Task Force radar and were arrested by personnel with U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, better known as ICE, the sources say. All 8 men crossed through the southern border into the U.S., and their criminal background checks come back clean when they cross, says two officials familiar with the matter. At least 2 of the men crossed the border in spring 2023, and one of those men used the CPB CBP One app, which the Biden administration created to allow migrants to book appointments to claim asylum, those officials say. The arrests were first reported by the New York Post. The FBI's Joint Terrorism Task Force has been aware of a potential terrorist threat originating in Central Europe, and it began monitoring these men, right, as part of their investigation, three sources say. It says a senior U.S. official says the FBI was monitoring the group for several months and kept close tabs on their activities. All right, so you heard it. All right, and I think they were talking about bombs. You know, they're trying to blow up something. You see, but this is all gonna happen. All right, this is the times that we're in. Let's get real quick. Ephesians 5. All right, Ephesians 5 and 14. Salakia. Let me make sure I'm on. It's Ephesians 5:14. It says, "Wherefore he saith, Awake thou that sleepest, and arise from the dead, and Hamashiach shall give thee light. See then that ye walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time, because the days are evil." And that's the times we're in. All right, we got to walk circumspectly. What does that mean? Circum means around, and spec means to look. All right, not as fools, but as wise. Right, redeeming the times, because why? Because why? The days are evil. You see, the days are getting worse and worse. The days of trouble are at hand. So let's get these that I got lined up. Let's start with Isaiah 19:1. It says, "The burden of Egypt," which this is talking about the spiritual Egypt. All right, America. "The burden of Egypt, behold, the Lord, whose name is Yahweh, rideth upon a swift cloud. It shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, and every one against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom." The Lord's going to set up civil war, man. He's going to bring civil war in America. It says, "And the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to the idols, and to the charmers, and to them that have familiar spirits, and to the wizards." This is what the Lord's going to do, man. Right? I'm going to see what it says in the GNT version. All right. Real quick. That's Isaiah 19 and verse 1. It says, "God will punish Egypt. This is a message about Egypt. The Lord is coming to Egypt riding swiftly on a cloud. The Egyptian idols tremble before him, and the people of Egypt lose their courage. The Lord says, I will stir up civil war in Egypt, and turn brother against brother, and neighbor against neighbor. Rival cities will fight each other, and rival kings will struggle for power. I am going to frustrate the plans of the Egyptians and destroy their morale. They will ask their idols to help them, and they will go and consult mediums and ask the spirits of the dead for advice." Hey, man, that's bad. That's a good translation. That's fire. All right. Verse 2, it says, I like verse 2, though. "The Lord says, I will stir up civil war." This was going to come. Chaos, civil war, man. All right, in the days to come. It says, "I will stir up civil war in Egypt, America, right, and turn brother against brother and neighbor against neighbor. Rival cities will fight each other, and rival kings will struggle for power." This is what's going to happen, in the days to come, man. Civil war is going to come. All right. It's going to be, the people versus, these armies out here. People are going to take to the streets soon enough. All right. They're going to come up against the powers that be, because, they're tired of it. Right. And eventually it's going to destroy. America's going to crumble from within. This guy Isaiah 24:10. It says, and it may be the wrong verse, but we will see. Isaiah 24:10, note this is right. It says, "The city of confusion," right? What's the city of confusion? Babylon, which is America. "The city of confusion is broken down. Every house is shut up that no man may come in. See that? These houses eventually, people gonna start locking themselves in their house because gonna be so much chaos out in the street, so no intruders can break in. There is a crying for wine in the streets. All joy is darkened. The mirth of the land is gone. And the city is left desolation, and the gate is smitten with destruction. See that? Let's go to that. It says, verse 10. It says, in the city, everything is in chaos, and people will lock themselves in their houses for safety. See that? You see that? Hey, let's read that again. Isaiah 24:10 GNT. In the city, everything is in chaos, and people lock themselves in their houses for safety. People shout in the streets because there is no more wine. Happiness is gone forever. It has been banished from the land. The city is in ruins, and its gates have been broken down. Woo! See that? So people can be locking themselves in their houses for safety, so they can be kept safe, man. You see? And it tells us in Second Esdras, let's get that. I think that's 15. Second Esdras 15. Maybe the next chapter. We can still read this. 14, it says, woe to the world and them that dwell therein. See that? Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. It says, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. What's that modern day sword? All right, these guns. All right, people gonna have a lot of firearms on them. You see, we gonna see a lot of death. We're gonna witness this. We're gonna really witness these things. You see, and Lord willing, we of the elect to be kept safe. It says, for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. They're not gonna regard their kings or princes. These governors, these mayors. All right, they're gonna try to get them too. So it's gonna be a sedition against the government, against the powers that be. It also says, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. Martial law. These UN troops walking the streets, gonna set up blockades. All right, checkpoints. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. This is what people gonna be afraid out here, man. All right, if you don't have this wisdom, this knowledge, let's get that real quick. Isaiah 33:6. It says, and wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times. Let's see what the word stability means. All right. Stability. Firmness, fidelity, steadfastness, steadiness. It says, literally firmness, security, morally fidelity, faithful, right? It says stability, steady, truly, truth, verily. So you're gonna be, you're not gonna be bugging out, man. All right, you're gonna be of a sound mind, Now we're in this flesh, all right, but we know I'm saying we because I'm praying at home with that, I'm over that number, the Lord, put that spirit on, but the elect, they'll have a sound mind, man. They're not gonna be disturbed by the things that's going on in the world. You see, so going back, it says, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. These men are gonna be afraid. The men, women, children. All right, they're gonna be afraid during these times, man. You see, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword. That's why That's why these people gonna try to lock themselves in their houses and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. You already know we got GNT it. Second Esdras 15 and 14. It says, the world and the people in it are doomed. The war that will bring their destruction is very near. Nations will arm themselves and fight against other nations. Right? War. There will be great political turmoil. And you gotta know another thing. This is a election year. So they could try something, getting close to the election around, October-ish, going into February, November. You see? So So they might try something around that time. So you got to, you know, continue to be diligent and vigilant. There will be great political turmoil with one group trying to overpower another and gain control while ignoring the legitimate government. And, you know, we hoping that Trump gets back into office. All right, I was watching a brother from GMS. I think his name is Kwam Bon Yahawada. I think he's in New York. I was watching this video earlier. You know, we're not rooting for Donald Trump. We just want prophecy to be come to pass. You see, it says there will no longer, right? From Salakia. Read that again. It says there will be great political turmoil with one group trying to overpower, right, another, and gain control while ignoring the legitimate government. Verse 17, there will no longer be free access to cities. Why? Because the struggle for power will bring destruction, terror, and total confusion wherever people live. So there's going to be total confusion everywhere, man. All right? Total confusion everywhere in these cities or even out in the country. People think in the country they're going to be safe. No, man, you're going to get touched too. You see? But no, there will no longer be free access to the cities. Martial law, like I said, you know, because the struggle for power will bring destruction, terror, and total confusion wherever people live. So that's in the cities and out in the, wherever you live. In the good part of the city, right? The suburbs, the country, right? Verse 19, driven by famine and terrible suffering, people will assault their neighbors and mercilessly, right, plunder their possessions. So they're gonna take whatever you got. All right, total chaos is gonna come to America, man. You see, and this is just the start. All right, terrorist attacks. All right, they might try to, false flags. You see, that could have been a false flag right there, you know. But they may try to, going into the towards getting closer to the election, they might try something, you know. But yeah, false flags. They might try to shut down the power grid or something. You see, attacks on the power grid, right? So now let's get Salakia. Let's get Jeremiah 2 16, right? 2 16 and 17. It says what? It says, "Woe is me, woe is me. Who will deliver me in those days?" This is Ezra, the prophet Ezra, right? "The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear. The beginning of evils. What shall I do? These evils shall come." Right? "Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. But for all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. Behold, victuals, which is food, shall be so good cheap upon earth, that they shall think themselves to be in good case, and even then shall evils grow upon earth. The sword, famine, and great confusion." This is it keeps talking about great confusion, man. "For many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. And the dead shall be cast out as dung, and there shall be no man to comfort them. For the earth shall be wasted, and the city shall be cast down." There's gonna be total desolation now, total anarchy. Right? 2 16, 17. It says, I'm doomed. Who will rescue me in those days? Troubles will come, and many people will groan. Famine will come, and many will die. Wars will come, and the world powers will tremble. Disasters will come, and everyone will be terrified. What will people do when these disasters come? What can they do? Right now, what they can do is repent to the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, before it's too late. Right? It says famine, epidemics, troubles, and suffering are sent to punish and correct people. But in spite of all this, they will not turn away from their sins. They soon forget their punishment. And that's our people, no? They forget that we're in captivity. We're not here to live it up. All right? You're not here to live the American dream. The American dream is a lie. You see, you get you go to college, or you get a house, white picket fence. You get a wife, you have some kids, get a nice car. No, man, you try to build some generational wealth here. That's not the American dream. The American dream is is a nightmare. All right, that's not the way to live. You gotta pay taxes, you gotta pay bills. All right, if you miss a payment, your stuff is gone. You see, but in the kingdom of heaven, hey, we'll have everything, even the least of our people. You know, from the greatest to the least. Even the other nations, when they finally get out of captivity, they're gonna be good. You see, they're gonna be in happiness because the righteous are ruling. This is in Proverbs 29. When the wicked rule, people are mourning, but when the righteous rule, people, they're happiness. You see, but continuing on, the time is coming when food, verse 21. I'll read verse 20 again. But in spite of all this, they will not turn away from their sins. They soon forget their punishment. The time is coming when food, right, will be so cheap that people will think a time of peace and plenty has arrived. You see, that the time of peace and safety. But then disasters will spring up everywhere. Wars, famine, and great confusion. You see, many people on earth will starve to death, and those who escape starvation will be killed in war. And that's, race wars. All right, these wars out in the streets. All right, an actual physical war. Being shipped off. All right, so these are things that chaos is coming to the streets of America. All right, and this could be, just be the start. This is just the beginning. Now they stopped it, right? But hey, that could be one thing, but something else could come to pass. All right, and some brothers believe that a grid attack could happen, right? But let's get Jeremiah 30:6. And I'll probably get some other scriptures, Lord willing, and then I'll end it off. Jeremiah 30:6. I'll start at 5. The point was in 7. It says, "For thus saith the Lord, whose name is Yahweh, all right, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace. Ask ye now and see whether a man doth travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins?" I'll make sure I'm on. I don't want to be talking this whole time, and I'm not. All right, we good. "Ask ye now and see whether a man doth travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness?" See that? The Lord is asking, does a man give birth to a child? We know, we know that men don't, but these people in the world, that's why the Lord has to destroy this place. It's total confusion. All right? We know that men don't give birth to children. All right? So what does he ask? He says, "Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins, as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness, pale as a ghost." Verse 7, "Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble. But he shall be saved out of it." He shall be saved out of it. Who's that he? The elect of the nation of Israel. They're the ones who are going to be saved out of this, out of the chaos. They're the ones who will be kept safe. The Lord says his servants shall eat. And when we're praying and hoping that we're his servants, man. We're the true servants, because there are, true prophets out here, but there are more false prophets than true prophets. You see? And I actually want to read this in the GNT. All right. GNT, Jeremiah 30:5. It says, "I heard a cry of terror, a cry of fear, not of peace. Now stop and think. Can a man give birth to a child? Why do I see every man with his hands on his stomach, like a woman in labor? Why is everyone so pale? A terrible day is coming. No other day can compare with it. A time of distress for my people, but they will survive, and that day is the elect." Not all of our people will survive the things that's coming. All right, 2/3, like it says in Zechariah 13:8-9, that 2/3 are going to die in America, Babylon the Great. All right, but let's get real quick. Now let's get Ezekiel. I think that's 7. Let's get this in the GNT. I never read that in the GNT. Ezekiel 7 and verse 5. What the hell? I guess I did read it in the GNT, but Ezekiel 7:5 GNT said, "This is what the sovereign Lord is saying. One disaster after another is coming on you. It's all over. This is the end. You are finished. The end is coming for you people who live in the land. The time is near when there will be no more celebrations at the mountain shrines, only confusion. Very soon now, you will feel all the force of my anger. I am judging you for what you have done, and I will pay you back for all your disgusting conduct. I will not spare you or show you any mercy. I am going to punish you for the disgusting things you have done, so that you will know that I am the Lord, and I am the one who punishes you. The day of disaster is coming. Violence is flourishing. Pride is at its height. See that? KJV, thus said the Lord, our Yahweh, in evil, and only evil is come. Behold is come, Salakia. And end is come, the end is come. It watcheth for thee, behold, it is come. The morning is come unto thee, O thou that dwellest in the land. The time is come, the day of trouble is near, and not the sounding again of the mountains. See that? Matter of fact, let's get I think that's 2 Timothy 3:1. It says, this know also, that in the last days perilous times shall come. Get that word perilous real quick. All right. Kalapas. It says hard to bear, troublesome, dangerous, harsh, fierce. All right. Savage. You see, so troublesome and dangerous times are upon us, man. And as we see, all right, it's heating up. All right, 3 attacks on U.S. cities just confirmed. All right, 8 people, all right, getting arrested on attacks on New York, Philadelphia, and L.A., man. And those are major cities. All right, with others like Atlanta, all right, Miami. I know Chicago is a major city. All right, so, hey, chaos will fill the streets of America, and it will fill the streets very, very soon, man. So we got to continue to stay vigilant, continue to, be diligent, stay vigilant, all right, and be sober-minded in the spirit, you see. So Lord Williams is edifying to you brothers and sisters out there. All right, I didn't want to make this too long, but, this is the spirit. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders of Great Millstone that teach and well. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. You sincere brothers out here that's pushing this word. And shalom to you sincere sisters that's listening and learning. May the choice of election be upon your house. Lord willing, it was edifying. Until the next video, shalom. Kwam Yasharala wa Ababa Ball.